All right, so I move around a lot, and I also throw my hands around, so be careful as this thing comes flying at your head. So look, what I'm going to do today is I want to sort of set a framework, really, because you've heard it all day. You heard Leslie on the stage talking about kind of the vision around Internet of Things. You heard the discussion about outcomes from Accenture and how to start thinking in terms of outcomes. You started hearing things that were, let's call it, other than product, because we're dealing with a new breed of customer who in fact is demanding and expecting a lot more. And that's led to a lot of changes in sales and marketing and, in fact, in how they work together or not. And what I want to go through today is that. First thing to understand, though, before we start is, I think I'll disabuse you of a notion. All right? If you think over the last decade plus that we've undergone a business revolution, you're wrong. What we've undergone is actually a communications revolution that's transformed every single institution on this planet and most of the people on this planet in terms of not just who they communicate with, but how they communicate, with what they communicate, what they expect of the communication, how they trust, and so on. And also, we've transformed how we create, how we distribute, and how we consume information. And what that's led to is a whole new breed of customer that not only are we dealing with, but we all are, actually. I mean, it's funny, years ago when I was doing this thing, it was really funny that I would ask people, like, how many of you use review sites? How many of you use something digital or another? And, third of the audience raised their hand. I don't even bother to ask the question anymore. It's not worth it because you're pretty much, let's put it this way. If I ask that question, 100% of you will probably raise your hand. All right, so I want to take a look at, in effect, who you are and who you're dealing with to start this, and then we're going to go into what it means for sales and marketing. So, first and foremost, understand who the digital customer really is. And I'm not going to focus on every single thing in this because I only got like 45 minutes or so, and there's about 12 days of stuff in here. You can have, however, if you contact Chris, you can have the slide deck, all yours, okay? But do it through Chris. First thing here that I want to concentrate on in terms of the digital customer, because it's probably the single most important thing, is right here. Trust is different. Who and how we trust has changed dramatically. Now, on the one hand, we know, because we communicate with our peers, and we go to these review sites, and we hear brands talking about their own stuff. When you hear the brand talking about its own stuff, typically, you think, okay, well, I don't trust that. And you know what? The studies bear that out. If you look at dozens of studies that are out there, you see that when it comes to brands talking about themselves, 10 to 56% trust the brand. But when it comes to peer trust, you see numbers that go like this. When it comes to peers talking about a brand, 72 to 94% trust the peer about the brand. Now, no matter how you cut that, what it boils down to, no one trusts the brand, everyone trusts their peers. All right, so now I'm going to take you through a little bit of history. You go back to 2000, and in 2000, a study starts coming out called the Edelman Trust Barometer. And the Edelman Trust Barometer is essentially a trusted source on who is your most trusted source. They become the study on this. In 2000, it's funny, if you start looking at it, you start seeing, well, the most trusted source in the world, and you see where this guy is a financial analyst, right? Didn't work out too well. However, 2004, there's this new breed that starts showing up, and it's called a person like me. And when they talk about a person like me, they're not talking about, a blood relative. They're not even talking about someone you actually know. They're talking about a person who you feel is like you. Someone who has interests similar. Someone who has political beliefs similar. Someone who has hobbies similar, whatever. But things that you actually trust about that person because you feel as if you know them because you know yourself.